Hey guys, what's up? This is the Demon Corpse, and today we'll be talking about Tales of Symphonia and is it worth the $40? No, it's not. It is so not worth the $40. Like, I hope no one buys this game, but people will. Like, it's I don't know. It ain't worth the price in my opinion. Because let's look at it. There's the GameCube version, the PS2 version, and then there's the PS3 version. For people who want to probably play the best experience, you should get the GameCube version. Why is that? The GameCube version can run to 60 FPS. The newer versions can only run at 30 FPS if you want that extra graphics. And I've seen the 60 FPS and the 30 FPS. There's a massive difference. Like, it looks very clean at 60 FPS. And how do you do that? You have to have the right type of cords to get like a good like HDMI, I believe, with the GameCube. I'm a little confused how they do it because there is a way to clean it up, and you have to have the right type of cords, and it's very expensive to have the best like. Oh my goodness! Like the game's running at 60 FPS. It's very confusing because I've never had a GameCube. I have a Wii, so and that can play GameCube, and I don't know if my GameCube can run the game at 60 FPS. I don't know about that. That I do not know, but you can run Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube at 60 FPS, and the game is dirt cheap. It's still under $60. You may be able to get it for $60 actually, and that's not a bad price in my opinion because one, it will stay the test of the value because one, let's just say 50 years from now, you want to play the GameCube version, you put that thing in, it's going to work. Like, you can find a Wii and play it, and it works perfectly. There will be no issues as long as the game isn't scratched to hell. But sometimes the Wii, even if it's really scratched, and I've tested this out with two GameCube games that I've gotten a couple of days ago, and for some reason it actually reads perfectly and they're pretty scratched, and when I put them in a GameCube they don't work. So yeah, like I would say the Wii, try to get a Wii console and just if you want to play that version of Tales of Symphonia. But then there's the PS2 version. I would say it's the worst version in some way because it is 30 FPS, and I think the loading time's horrendous. Like for some reason, the PS2 has some of the worst loading times, and the PS2 is a weird, really weird system. Like even if you can like get the games to go at the because there's some games that you can hit 1080i or even at like a 480p, like a good frame rate, it still doesn't look good. Like it's very weird how the PS2 is built. It's very odd. Then there's the PS3 version, and that's a little more improved, but it is running at 30 FPS, and that's probably the best version just because it comes with the sequel. So I would probably recommend that version more than the other versions, just because it comes with a sequel, but the sequel was also on the Wii, so you may want to get a Wii if you just want to play the GameCube version and play the sequel on the Wii. I don't know. Yeah, it's rather interesting, but and with this new version, it's not even coming with the sequel. Like, why? Like, just put you could put the game in a 50 gigabyte DVD. Like these DVDs are huge. Like 50 gigabytes. The games are not even 50 gigabytes. They're like under 10 gigabytes. Like if you're able to put a dang like, if you're able to put the sequel on a Wii disc, you'll be able to put it on a Blu-ray, a dual-layered Blu-ray disc. We don't even need a dual-layered Blu-ray disc. You just need like a regular Blu-ray disc that has 25 gigabytes. Oh well, you may need a 50 gigabyte Blu-ray DVD just because of the graphics. Oh well, no, not graphics. It's gonna be 30 FPS, and they may be fixing some bugs, but yeah, like the only way I could see this version of Tales of Symphonia remastered like have value in my opinion is that one, it came with it both two games, it came both two and a soundtrack. Like, come on, like if it had that, if it came with two games and a soundtrack, I would pay the $40 for that game. Totally, like, but they not doing that, sadly. And there's so many other Tales games that have never gone a release in North America. Tales of Destiny 2, Tales of not well, you may get confused. Like I mean the actual Tales of Destiny 2, the actual one. Then there's director's cuts for Tales of Destiny and Tales of Destiny 2, and then what was Tales of Hearts, like the original Tales of Hearts. I know there's Tales of Hearts R that we did get, but I want to play the original, but highly doubt so. I have to probably buy it whenever I see it. I may get it just to play it, and I'll just add English patch, but hoping. What? And then there's Tales of Fantasia, and yes, I know Tales of Fantasia was released in North America on the Game Boy Advance, but that's a really crappy port, so we're not talking about that version. Like, we need an actual port of Tales of Fantasia. Then there's a sequel that we never got, and then there's what was? Oh no, we did get Tales of Exilia and Tales of Exilia 2. They're still stuck on the PS3, but those games aren't that expensive. Like, it's $30. That's not bad, like, in my opinion. You could probably make a deal with someone and bring it down to like 25 maybe. But just watch out for those games. You'll be able to find them for dirt cheap because like at the end of the day, like most people don't know what they're selling sometimes at half prices of Goodwill, so you get most of the stuff for dirt cheap. Then there's was there any release? Oh yeah, there was Tales of there was something released on the PSP for Tales. It wasn't Tales of Etonia, but that was released only in the EU sadly, and in Japan only. Japan as well, not only but in Japan as well. But Tales of Etonia was released in the EU. Oddly. But what was it called? Tales something. It was called something. I can't think of it, but it was on the PSP and it had 4 games. But we only got the first one, and the other 3 were never released here, only in Japan only somehow. There's probably an English patch, so it's probably not that bad. But still, though, really, Bandai, like, it probably wasn't as successful, but oh well. Then there's, oh yeah, Tales of, because there's some Tales games on the DS that have never been released here. Tales of, I think it was Innocence. And then there's a new one, Tales of Innocence R, so that's like a remake of the original. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's a remake remaster. I don't know. I have to look it up. If it did get a remake, I think it did because I see some trailers for Tales of Innocence on YouTube. Tales of Innocence R, and I'm like, okay, it's only released on Android, so like, oh well. But I don't know. I would say some of those games they need to do like an HD collection, really, because like trying to sell these games again is going to be very difficult in my opinion. Just because Tales of Fantasia, yes, I would be happy about that, but when you look at the game, like the actual game, it's a whole lot. It's all 2D. It's massively different from like what we see of gaming because these were released back in the 90s. So a lot of these games would have to be like a collection. And then there's Tales of the Abyss, and that one's stuck on the 3DS and the PS2, and I highly doubt they'll go down in value, sadly. So watch out for those games. But, but truly, just hope for the best, and let's just hope these games do get some form of a re-release or some form of HD collections. But I would say don't buy Tales of Symphonia. Find the PS3 version. Like that's the best version, and it's region free, so you can buy a EU copy. So yes, like if you have a PS3, you buy in North America, you can buy an EU copy of Tales of Symphonia Chronicles if it's a little too expensive over here. Because most of the time, and I do not get this, why are EU copies cheaper than the dang North American copies? Like they're both the same game. Like I highly doubt there's like a slow rendering speed. They're going to run perfectly, but just my opinions, and some people want that North American copy that's like $90 for no dang reason, and they don't want to buy the copy for like $60 or $50. And I know Tales of Symphonia Chronicles is not worth that much, but you get my point. I just don't get it. I really don't. I was lucky to get mine for like $25. I was really lucky. I saw it. I was going to get just because of the remaster, and but then I was thinking, oh wait, it comes with the sequel, and I was like, I have the sequel on the Wii, so I'm like, you know what, I'll get this version anyway because it comes with Tales of Symphonia, and I'm not going to really buy a GameCube version of the game. Like, well, maybe I don't know. You know, if I find it for a good price, I may grab it, but I'll just watch out for it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Support me on my Aussie channel if you want to. It's your choice. And I actually may make this into a weird series of like, should you buy this game for this much, or something like that. The other two have been pretty successful for some reason, but I don't know why. But hey, it's these games are coming out, so I think the next one I may do will probably be Final Fantasy Crisis Core. That I have an interesting opinion on that game, but yeah, that's about all. See you, scavengers.